A warm, wonderful welcome. My name is Victor Zamet. I'm a retired attorney. I have been investigating the afterlife using scientific method for more than 21 years. In that time, I came across a number of skeptics, some open-minded skeptics, as I am, and others who are closed-minded skeptics, those who don't accept the afterlife, those who don't accept the paranormal. A good colleague of mine, Winston Wu, put on his internet Skepcop. I'll give you the URL after this video. A fantastic and a brilliant rebuttal of closed-minded skepticism. Now, he inspired me to do the same thing from an attorney's perspective. So I have, in the given time, 6 major objections. The first objection: these closed-minded skeptics say science supports their arguments against the afterlife and the paranormal. Not so. Not so. I repeat, science does not support those who argue against the afterlife and the paranormal. Objection number 2. These extreme skeptics say that those who accept the evidence for the afterlife and the paranormal, don't have science to support their argument. Wrong again. Science supports those who accept the afterlife and the paranormal. Now, in chapter 2 and chapter 25, I have a number of scientists, some of the most brilliant scientists who ever walked on this planet Earth, who, after investigating the afterlife, confirmed and conceded and said, yes, the afterlife exists. Objection number 3. There's that guy from Florida, they call him the king of the skeptics, who keeps on saying that, oh, you cannot beat Victor Zamet's afterlife objective and repeatable evidence because nobody can prove the negative. Now that's wrong. That shows he knows nothing about the rules of professional debates. That's totally irrelevant. That's totally immaterial and inadmissible. That's totally invalid. Why, you may say? This is because, let's say I am the lawyer presenting the case for the afterlife for the plaintiff. I call in some of my best experts who will testify and will show to members of the jury and the court that the afterlife exists. And these experts come all the way from around the world, from Brazil and North America and Canada and Europe, France, Italy, Germany, even as far as Russia. They will in clear and absolute terms show that there is an afterlife. Now, the onus then shifts on to the defendant skeptic lawyer to cross-examine on the evidence submitted. Now, I've had this evidence on the internet for nearly 10 years. And no genius skeptic, no genius materialist, or no genius reductionist scientist, or anybody else has been able to show where, when, how, and why the afterlife objective repeatable evidence is not right. Objection number 4. There are some academics who say, oh, there are no peer-reviewed research papers. And they try to dismiss it as if there is nothing substantive. Wrong again. The Society for Psychical Research in England and Society for Psychical Research in Scotland, they've been publishing these papers, scientific papers, peer-reviewed, for the last 100 years. Over 100 years, as a matter of fact. And there is the Society of Psychical Research in the United States. There's also the Institute of Noetic Sciences, and there is the Windbridge Institute. All of these have been publishing peer-reviewed research papers. Now, it's time these closed-minded skeptics woke up to themselves and start investigating. Objection number 5. Occasionally I get a closed-minded skeptic who says to me, "Hey, Victor," he says, "if you have the evidence for the afterlife, why don't you take the $1 million challenge of that guy from Florida?" Yeah? I said, that challenge that guy's got, Randy, is not legitimate challenge. I read the conditions very carefully, and even if an applicant was able to succeed, the guy, Randy, can legitimately not pay a cent legally. It's legally unenforceable. That's why. That guy told Professor Dennis Rawlings, "I will always find a way out, that is, of paying anything." It's not legitimate, it's not proper, it's not right. And I told many mediums and psychics not to waste their valuable time in chasing something which is not genuine, it's not legitimate. But then we have objection number 6. We hear on occasions someone says, "Oh, nobody has come back to tell us that the afterlife exists." Wrong. We've been communicating with the afterlife for over 150 years. Check the books, check the records, check the documentaries for you to understand that this has been going on for many, many, many years. I myself, every Sunday night, I talk to an afterlife intelligence, William, right, with David Thompson's group. My own father-in-law materialized, and my own sister materialized. We had conversations, right? And there are these gifted, highly gifted mediums. We watch Lisa Williams on television, connecting with those from the other side, and the sitters confirm. They say, "Yes, that's our loved ones." And you have James Van Prague. We see on television. We can see for ourselves that he's making contact with the afterlife. And you have John Edward, who does the same thing. And you have others. So, connecting with the afterlife has been going on for over 150 years. Again, I tell these closed-minded skeptics to do their research. These mediums I talked about have been scientifically tested. And this is something which cannot be denied. This is something that it's proven over time and space. And we get positive results in an objective and repeatable way. I'll give you the URL for my book, A Lawyer Presents the Case for the Afterlife. I will also include Winston Wu's Skepcop URL. Also, I'd like you to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. It's free, you don't have to pay anything, and keeps you informed about afterlife matters. Until next time, this is Victor Zamet.